Welcome back. The Brown Bears leading the Penn Quakers 24-7 at halftime here on the east side of Providence. Well, as we have been mentioning, it is Brown Athletic Hall of Fame induction weekend. And as part of the induction tonight, the 1999 and 2000 Brown women's rowing teams will be going into the Hall of Fame. And we are happy to be joined by Portia McGee, who was a member of those two national championship teams, class of 2001. And Portia, we were talking here about championships and hardware as part of Brown Athletics history. National champions, Brown women's rowing, I think that's the only ones, right?
I think that's it. I think we've represented the university well, and and there's, there were a few more after our time as well. So I think 2 or 3 more.
Well, talk about your teams. You started it all, right? 99, 2000, you win back-to-back national titles. Those were the first 2 of 7 national championships won by our women's crew program, but your teams laid the foundation.
Well, we did, but we also, we came into a very established program, and I think the women who came before us really were pushing the program in the right direction, and we just came in with a chemistry and a group together that was just able to kind of take it to the next level and take it, up that one notch to the point where we were all there, and that's what we wanted to do. We were there to win.
So can you recall, like it was yesterday, 1999, you finished tied with Virginia with 50, I believe it was, 6 points each, but because you won the varsity 8,
that's right,
you were crowned national
There was a little
champs.
bit of contention there because we felt like the victory was clear and decisive, but but that's right. It was very exciting, and that was, one of the first years that it was a 3-boat. You had 3 boats that had to win points for the national championship, a little bit different than in some other sports. So, but that was a great race, and yeah, that was such a fun boat. We were out in California, Lake Natoma. It was a thrill, sophomore year. Just kind of finishing something we'd started. We won the Ivy League title. We knew we could do this. And just, crossing that line. I think we had a 3-second victory, which is pretty huge in rowing.
And then a year later, you beat the Washington Huskies.
That's right. And I'm from Seattle, Washington. So it was no joke. And when I came out to Brown and decided not to go to Washington, I had quite a few friends rowing at Washington, and we lost to them earlier in the season when we went out to Seattle for a race, and we were able to come back and beat them, and it was nothing feels better.
What's it like when you were showing the images of the teams here, and what's it like when you see some of these images and Brown women's rowing and some of the national titles here over the years, particularly your teams?
I just and a lot of us are here today, and we were a group that just. We were relentless. Our coaches, John and Phoebe Murphy, they're relentless. We just love to work hard. We love to train. We love to race. We had some people who could just, every day down at the boathouse, push it a little bit harder, bring the level up. And then we just had racers on our team. And the women who are out here today, they're all incredibly successful, and there's no surprise because these are women who just knew how to get a job done.
You want to talk about commitment? Look, it takes great commitment to be a student athlete at a school like Brown University, but really none more so than in your sport. Mornings on the Seekonk, they would be up at the crack of dawn, rowing in the dark as the sun was rising. Do you miss mornings on the Seekonk?
I'm going to tell you a secret. We did not row too many mornings. We rowed some.
They do now.
They do now.
Yeah.
The world has changed a little bit. We rode at a lovely time at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but we were at the boathouse from about 2:30 or 3 until long after the ratty closed. We were always running in there to try to get a meal before it shut down.
Yep.
So it was a 4-hour commitment every afternoon, every Saturday morning, racing every weekend in the spring. And fall and spring. We have a competitive season in the fall, and we have a competitive season in the spring. And in the winter, you are sitting on a rowing machine for, endlessly. So, yeah, it was a huge, huge amount of time. But we were very good. I think we learned how to manage our time, which was the secret.
You mentioned John and Phoebe Murphy. What is it, Portia, over the years that has just made them successful and just kept the program going in the direction that it has so consistently over the years?
It's the secret sauce. And they none of us are allowed to say. Even today, but I think really what it is, they would actually, say, don't tell too many secrets, Portia. But the real secret is just their relationship, the way they work together. And they are both just, you want to do your best for them. There's something magical about certain coaches who can just pull out the very best in every athlete, you know, and rowing's a team sport. There's no individual stars, and they remind you of that. You know, you're there to bring up your team member. You don't go anywhere unless all 25 women are fast, and the boathouse is about, you know, bringing the whole team along. But they, you know, their work ethic is incredible. There are no shortcuts for John and Phoebe Murphy. And I think we all learned that if we wanted to win, there are no shortcuts for us.
Sure.